Alright guys, so I finally watched the last Phantasm movie, which I've been waiting for a while. I've just been busy and I haven't had the chance to finish this franchise, but I'm finally done. Phantasm Ravager, the fifth one and the presumably final one, even though the movie at the ending does not indicate that it's the final one. Like Phantasm 4, I thought that this movie was really a disappointment to the first three. The first three I think are awesome. They're so fun, so entertaining. This one, I think this movie out of all of them suffers the most from the effects and the camera work. This movie looks terrible. And I try not to say, "Oh, this movie looks bad because of the camera or the CGI." But good God, this is some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in a franchise horror movie, I guess you could say. And I know there's a lot of other terrible ones too, but this one is really fucking up there. This one is insanely bad. And I feel like it's more insanely bad because this movie was released in 2016. I don't know how long of a development this was in, or the effects, but good God, this looked terrible. This reminded me of that Scorpion King 2, which was one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen, and I try not to say the worst, but that is one of the worst. Scorpion King 2. But those effects are god awful in that movie too. And that came out in 2009, and these effects look pretty, not as bad as that, but they're pretty really cartoony. And I know that you could argue, oh, CG effects are cartoony anyways, but this one just really struck as cartoony to me, and that's. And like I said, I'm not trying to be overly negative about the CGI, and I try not to be in any movies, but this one just stuck out like a sore thumb for me. God, I can't say it right. It just stuck out to me bad in this movie, so I really thought that this one, in terms of how it looked so amateur and so terrible in the CGI, and the first three didn't look like that, and the fourth one didn't look like that either. I take that back. The fourth one looked fine too, but good God, this one was just terrible in its CGI. And the camera work looks like it's literally filmed on a kind of like a phone. It does not, I knew the equipment looked like it's not anything high tech like the first three were, or the first four were. And after the end of the fourth movie, I remembered that Mike died, I guess, he was dying, and then Reggie was still alive. But then the movie starts out where Reggie's in the desert, and it's a lot of scenes of him just in the desert, which I thought I would enjoy because Reggie is a character that in the first four, he really, I enjoyed him. He's so fun and so entertaining, and he's such a likable character. And in this movie, we get a lot of him, and it doesn't feel like he captures the same magic as the first four, where he's not, I don't like him as much, and it's weird. It's not the actor, it's just it's just the same old thing again, and I felt like this one suffered the most from that out of all of them. And then this movie does a weird thing where it keeps cutting to Reggie in his old age, in a nursing home with older Mike, but then it keeps cutting back to him in the desert. But then later in the movie, it cuts to him in a different location in the apocalyptic world that the tall man has created, since he's killed basically everybody, and his minions are the only things left. So it's really weird, and I feel dumb for not understanding it, but it was just so all over the place with Reggie in these three different locations: an older Reggie, a regular aged Reggie, I guess, and then a Reggie in this area where the world has been destroyed completely by Tall Man. So this movie does not flow with that. It's really weird. And then it's just a lot of scenes of him, he finds another girl again, and it's not as funny this time. And then he tries to have sex with her again, and it's been done. It's been done a couple other times, and they were funnier the last couple times. But in this one, it's just, oh, okay. And then it's just it keeps going on and on. It felt like this movie was, to me, not interesting. The fourth one wasn't as interesting to me too, but I think what held on to it was the Reggie scenes were more fun in that one. And this one, I just felt like it was not even, it just didn't even work at all for me. And there were a couple moments with these characters where I thought that they were fine, but it never stood to the levels of the first three or even the fourth one where I liked these characters a lot. I just think that this one was not trying. Like, really, to me, I didn't feel like. And then Reggie encounters, like in the fourth movie, Reggie encounters the tall man again. Or encounters the tall man like Mike did, where Mike encountered the younger tall man, Jebediah. And that's it. Like, it just shows that, and the scene's over, and it doesn't ever... I feel like there's not a need for that scene. Like, it was in the fourth one. So I didn't get that. And then it really just is more scenes of Reggie just screwing around, which, like I said, I really enjoyed in the first three. In the fourth one, he had a lot of moments, too, that were fun. But this one just, it's not really fun. And then he's got this girl named Dawn, who, like I said, he's trying to have sex with. And he finds her dead with the chrome ball in her head, and it kills her. But then, like, this camera work is so outrageously weird, where, like, it zooms in on her, like really fast, and then it zooms out, and then it, like, shows, like, it, like, circles it around to where Reggie makes a weird face, like, no, and then, like, it just cuts back to a zoom in on her, like, really quick, and it's really, really jarring. I'm just like, I don't understand. Did they not have money to have good cameras or good camera work? And some movies I don't care as much about that, but this one just, like I said, it stuck out so much. Really stuck out. And then the girl who dies there appears later, but in the other form of Reggie, like whenever Reggie is in the like the world destroyed part of the movie, where like he's in where the tall man has destroyed everything and it's just his minions, and like there's a few people that survive and are trying to take him down still, Mike involved too. And Reggie joins forces with him. So I felt like this part of the movie was a little bit more interesting, because it goes back to like how in the third one and the second one, like Reggie had the third one more, that Reggie had all these fun sidekicks like Tim and Rocky. Like, they were really fun. But in this one, you get these couple of sidekicks with Mike and Reggie in the tall man's like destroyed world, or planet Earth, like destroyed. And then it's all right. It's kind of fun, but it's not as fun as 3. And good God, whenever they cut out to where it shows Tall Man has destroyed everything, and it shows the world, it is terrible CGI. And like I said, I hate that I say that it's terrible, and it really is. But and I try not to be so overly negative about everything, but this one just really, in terms of the CGI and the camera work, just bothered me so much. And Mike explains it to him, like, oh, the world is in ruins now completely because the tall man has finally taken everything. Like, he's literally, like, destroyed the whole... And then there's these giant spears, the size of, like, skyscrapers, like, flying around in the air. So they go and suddenly they're fighting in the other dimension that in all the movies that the tall man takes his dead bodies to reanimate to become slaves. They go and fight there, and it's so weird and jarring how, like, it keeps cutting to all these different things, like different places with different Reggies and with different Mikes. I feel kind of dumb for being confused, but the movie is just so out of whack that I don't get what's going on. And then later Jody appears, which I thought was a cool little... Because I knew he'd appear, because he appeared in almost all of them. I think after the third one, after the second one, he appeared in all of them. I don't know if he... I don't think he appeared in the second one. I think he appeared in the first, and then 3, 4, and 5. But I may be wrong about that. I think he wasn't in 2, but Jody returns. So I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. That's cool that he's brought back. That was a cool little moment. And then it fades to black, like, they drive away and it fades to black like a TV movie, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of odd. And then you realize that, like, all the other members have died in that fight, and then it's just literally those 3 left on Earth, apparently. Like, they said we're the only 3 left. Jody, Mike, and Reggie. And then Reggie dies in a couple different ways, like in the nursing home. And I think either he dies or he looks down in the car, and then... No, he doesn't die because he's shown in the after credits, but he makes a look in the car when his it's so confusing to talk about. Whenever he sees himself in the nursing home as an old guy, he dies there. But then in the car, when they're all three of them are driving away, he puts his head up like he just either has fallen asleep or just dies, and the movie cuts to black, or it cuts to credits like so jarringly quick. And I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. And the ending was so abrupt. Like, I was sitting there like, what the fuck? But then it brought another scene which I did enjoy, because that short guy, I guess he lived, that short guy finds Rocky, which is a character from the third one who I really enjoyed. I thought she was awesome in the third movie, and then she comes back for this, for like a cameo at the end credits, which both those people, the short guy and Rocky, go and they find Reggie and Jody and Mike and go in the car with them, and they're gonna go fight off the tall man and destroy his world that he's literally killed everybody except for them. And it shows them cutting away, driving away to those giant building-sized spears in the air. And that's it. And it said it everywhere online before I saw this would be the final one. But it doesn't end where it's going to be final. Like, they haven't defeated the tall man. They've got to go get him again. But Angus Scrim died, so is this the way the franchise is going to end? Just literally on a cliffhanger? And, like, I don't get it. It's just, this movie was really a disappointment, like the second one. The more I'm thinking about it, the more bad I think this is. And I try not to say that about movies. I think that I try to find things I like, and I do enjoy some moments with these characters. Especially Mike, Jody, and Reggie. There are a couple moments, but they're not like the first four, where like there are likable moments a lot in the movie. And this one, it's just like, I feel like they're not even trying anymore. And because of the terrible CGI and the camera work, it's like, it's so hard to say that this movie, I'm not trying to be like snobby, like from a film standpoint, like from a filmmaking standpoint, like I don't want to be like that, but man, the camera work is just, and the CGI just sticks out like a sore thumb. The ending was so abrupt and so weird. The movie is so choppy and messed up. Like, I don't get what's going on with these with the characters, what's going on with the story. Like, it's all over the place. But the characters are all right, but they're definitely at their weakest in this movie. And it ends so abruptly that I'm just like, I don't even know what to think. Man, this just was so, I don't want to say it's flat out terrible, because there are terrible things about it, but I did like the characters alright. But man, out of the 5, this is the worst for me. Like, this one just, it's such a shame, because I really enjoyed the first 3. The fourth one, I kind of want to bump up a little bit and say it's a little better than what I thought it was watching this one, because this one, the final one, I guess, is the most, like, the worst one for me, and that sucks. I really, like I said, enjoyed the first 3. Thought the fourth one wasn't that great, but I like it a little more now because I didn't like this one, and that's weird to say. I usually don't feel that way. But man, this was a disappointment. It was bad. It wasn't the worst thing ever. I try not to say worst thing ever, really, because there's truly not ever going to be like the absolute worst thing ever. I can always find something for the most part. There's a few exceptions. A few movies I'll never be able to find anything redeeming, but this one has some redeeming things about it. Like I said, the characters are fine. Just not as amazing as the first 4, but they're fine. Just so many, the bad definitely outweighs the good in this. It's such a weird movie to end the franchise because it doesn't end it. This movie hurt my head. This was such a bad movie. I don't know. Like, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it was definitely the worst one and definitely a big disappointment for me. So, I'm glad I finished this franchise, even though it ended really badly. So, I still love the first 3, so that's a positive. I thought this franchise was fun, regardless of if I didn't like the last couple. So, thanks for watching my reviews on this franchise, and I really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.